I feel so bored there's nothing to do. Maybe I should look for a new game. Interesting, this one just became free.
A few moments later.
Mr. White, you wanted to see me?
Jesse, we need to grind Destiny 2.
In gaming, I like to think that there are two separate grinds. The first type of grind is implemented by the developer. Games like War Thunder, Call of Duty, or Honkai Star Rail include unlockable features that the player can work towards to use. In the case of Call of Duty, these features are weapons modifications that don't really have an impact to the gameplay. I mean, yeah, you can make the argument that you are grinding towards a new grip for your gun, but that's not really what I'm focusing on. I'm talking about those people that only play Shipment 24/7. You know for a fact that they're on that camo grind. For the other examples, their unlockable features give the player more things to play the core game with that will amplify their experience. Obviously, you don't need it, but having it makes your experience just a tiny bit different. For example, in Honkai Star Rail, you can unlock new characters, and each character has different abilities, different voice lines, and who knows, you might fall in love with them. There's a whole subreddit for it too. If you're not too familiar with Honkai, you probably know its older brother, Genshin Impact. Both of these games are gacha games. In terms of gacha, you didn't get the character you wanted. To get characters, you gotta do pulls, and each character has a type of probability. The good ones are really high, while the average and sucky ones are pretty common for people to get. You can't just do unlimited pulls either. You gotta fork over the in-game currency. Now, there are two ways you can get the in-game currency. You could go through certain challenges and grind your way to get more currency, or you could just pull out your wallet and give them your credit card. So by the time you find a character that you want, and then you log in and realize, oh shoot, the banner is over, you either A, grinded a bunch of hours to get the in-game currency for free, or B, you spent a couple $100s to try and pull the character. But in both outcomes, you got Dr. Ratio. Now, let's take the case of War Thunder, a non-gacha game. You get a couple starter vehicles that are fun to fly, but they're pretty basic and it can get old pretty fast. However, if you look further down the tech tree, you'll see vehicles that seem a lot more fun. Fighter jets, air-to-air missiles, helicopters, and more that are not available to the player in the beginning. They'll need you to grind for it. Something that you'll notice that you can bypass the entire grind by just forking over a couple $100. Man, I sure do love free-to-play games. In gacha games, it's a bit hard to do the math since each pull has a different probability, and there's the factor of pity pulls and other factors too, but yeah, we're just not going to do the math for the gacha games, but it's a lot easier to do it in War Thunder. Let's keep it simple and say that you want to unlock the F-4B Starfighter. I chose this aircraft as a target because it's the first one that gives you air-to-air missiles and it's a jet. It will take 9 aircraft with a combined total of getting 514,908 research points just to get the ability to buy the aircraft. That's right, even if you unlock a plane, you'll still need to buy it with Silver Lions. There's also the fact that you can't just follow one branch. You need to purchase a certain amount of planes in one rank to be able to research a plane in the next rank. Regardless of whatever strategy you take, it's going to take over 1 million research points and a whole lot more Silver Lions just to get to your target. That's why there's a bunch of players who opt to pay money to the snail by buying a premium account to get to the vehicle that they want. Yeah, I kind of rambled on a bit there, but that's just because I have a love-hate relationship with this game. But in the end, for this category of grindy games, the player will either have to pay with their wallet or their time. The other category of grindy games is caused by you. Just as there are a bunch of games that are designed to be grindy with grindy features baked into it, there's also a bunch more out there that are not designed to be grindy. And the grind for these games are self-imposed by the player. I'm not trying to say that tough games like Elden Ring are designed to be grindy. They're designed to be difficult. But just because the game is difficult doesn't mean that the game is grindy. Maybe an example can help. A game that has a great story, not too long, not too short. A game where there are many paths the player can take. Each can make the game shorter or longer, but they all lead to the same end. That's right, the game I'm talking about is Yakuza. Without spoiling too much, the Yakuza games follow a very linear story. The main character Kiryu is faced with a problem. To solve this problem, he has to go on this long journey to get him right to his goal that'll solve that problem. What makes Yakuza special though is the fact that while you're in a life or death situation, you can play a toy racing game with kids. The sub-stories and mini-games all throughout the game are not mandatory for the player to do, but attaining the 100% completion is a coveted badge for your account. Sure, you could do it to get the rewards that'll make the game easier, but you don't need to. You can certainly just beat the game by doing a couple sub-stories or just following the main story. But the grind to get 100% complete gets a whole bunch of folks into it. It definitely got me into it. I'm a victim of both of these grinds. Back when I played Modern Warfare 2, I was playing COD every single day for hours and hours just to get gold skins. I could have done it too if my Xbox One didn't break. In story games, I have the habit of going into it to get my money's worth. Even in Yakuza 2, a game I cherish a lot, I started to feel as if I had to play it, rather than I want to play it. I was trying my best to find every single key, unlock all of Kiryu's abilities, finish all the sub-stories. This quest of mine to try and get 100% took the fun out of the game. At many parts of the game, I started to feel frustrated, not because it was difficult, but it became tedious and annoying, and I wasn't having any fun at all. So then what was the point? What is the point in doing something that is designed to give you a fun time when you don't get any fun out of it? Yes, there's a lot of games out there that are fun, but incredibly challenging. But I bring back my point earlier about how it depends on what type of game you're playing. Forcing yourself to have fun when you clearly are not having any fun won't do you any good. You're probably wondering what I did. Well, I just changed the way I play. The grind is something that can be both a blessing and a curse. People grind through something because they want what is at the end of the tunnel, because they think it's something amazing, something great. The idea of the chase is what gets us going. So after it came to this realization, I decided to change the way I do things. Rather than focusing on trying to always have a goal in mind and putting all my effort towards getting to that goal as fast as possible, I'd relax. I just recently started playing Yakuza 0, and yeah, I played 1 and 2 first, as Nishiki intended, and taking this approach has made the game a much more enjoyable experience. I wouldn't try to chase achievements, but instead, I'm just having fun exploring what's there. I'm not trying to get all preachy here and say that you can't grind in games, or that my way of playing is the best way of playing. However you want to enjoy something is how you want to do it. Who am I to barge in and tell you to stop having fun? I still enjoy the chase, but just like all good things in life, it requires balance and moderation. There may be a lot of folks out there who have started to lose interest in what they enjoy because of the chase. Just know that sometimes all you gotta do is take a step back and remember the chase isn't everything. Oh, and also touch grass. You definitely gotta touch grass. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Feel free to subscribe. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.